Cookery Grade 10, Quarter 4, Preparing and Cooking Meat. Our topic is Store Meat. Methods of Preserving Meat. Methods of preserving meat. There are different methods of preserving meat. This includes drying or dehydration, smoking, salting, curing, refrigerating, freezing, canning, and freeze-drying. Drying. This is the most common method of preserving meat. Drying involves the reduction of the original 70% of water content of the meat to about 15%. The removal of the moisture content does three things, namely, enzymatic changes are retarded, the growth of microorganisms is much hampered, and the microbes lose water and become inert. Ways of drying meat. Natural sun drying. Natural sunlight is used to reduce the amount of moisture content of meat. Portable solar dryers can provide sanitary means of drying meat. Dryers with screen covers are recommended for outdoor use and lengthens the storage life of meat. Number 2 is the dehydration or artificial drying. Oven is used for drying the meat. Although this is more expensive than sun drying, dehydration is more efficient method of removing moisture from meat. Products dried in this way are of higher quality and can be sold at better prices. Smoking. Meat is smoked to create a distinctive color and flavor, thus helping its preservation. The flavor, color, and attractive glaze on the surface of the meat is desired, like in ham, bacon, and tinapa. The heat generated during smoking destroys the enzyme and dries the product artificially, thus preventing the growth of molds and vegetative bacteria on the surface. Cold and hot smoking are the two types of smoking. Smoked meats include ham, bacon, and chicken. A. Cold smoking. The temperature is held between 26 to 40 degrees Celsius and the products are smoked over a period of days or weeks. The products thus pick up a strong smoke flavor and are dehydrated as well. Hot smoking. The temperature is higher from 71 to 79 degrees Celsius. The high temperature speeds up the drying process, giving the product a mild smoke flavor. Salting. Salt improves the keeping quality of the meat. It removes the water from the tissue of the meat and the cells of spoilage organisms that may be present in the meat. Curing. In this method, salt, sugar, potassium, or sodium nitrate, and other curing elements such as ascorbic acid, phosphate blend, and spices are used to prolong the keeping quality of the meat. Curing agents also help improve the flavor and the appearance of meat and retain its original color. Sugar minimizes the hardness of the straight cure process. It also makes the product more appetizing and provides energy to the nitrate-reducing bacteria, which gives the red color. Spices give the desired flavor and aroma. Letter D. Refrigerating. Meat is stored at a temperature range of 2 to 10 degrees Celsius to retard mold and bacterial growth for a limited period. Freezing. Meat is preserved at a temperature of 10 degrees Celsius and below. Freezing deactivates enzyme and bacteria. Meat can be preserved for 2 months to 1 year using this method. Canning. Meat preserved by canning is packed in sealed cans or jars, which are subjected to a temperature of 100 degrees Celsius and above 5 to 7 kilo of pressure for a specific period of time. This process destroys the organism that causes spoilage. It maintains the high quality of the meat product and extends its life for about a year. Next is the freeze drying. The process involves the removal of moisture from the meat tissue by transforming the moisture content into ice and gas. The product to be dried is first frozen and the ice is sublimed from the frozen mass, removing 98% of the water content. The remaining moisture is further reduced to 0.5% or lower by subjecting the product to a high temperature as possible without destroying it. The texture, appearance, flavor, and nutritive value of freeze-dried products are comparable to frozen foods. The products have a long shelf life and required no refrigeration. This method needs special equipment such as modern freeze dryer. Evaluating the quality of preserved meat products. Good quality pork has less than 1 1/4 cm of golden brown fat that covers the surface of the meat and a thoroughly cooked interior where meat has even pinkish color. It has also a juicy and tender texture, a pleasing aroma, and a tender seasoned and pleasing taste with a slight hint of smoky flavor. Sausages of good quality are uniform in size and length. Each sausage in a whole piece has no rupture of casing even when pricked. The interior has a pinkish color when thoroughly cooked. A combination of juicy meat with spicy seasoning marks their flavor. Proper storage of preserved meat. Many processed items prepared for future use may be stored in the freezer. These should be wrapped in a plastic or foil to prevent the occurrence of freezer burnt and avoid having a pulpy texture that comes from loss of moisture. Each item should be labeled with the name of the product, date of expiry, and the quantity. Processed food held in storage should be well covered or wrapped to keep them from absorbing odors and flavors from other foods. They should be held below danger zone temperatures. Processed meat should be packed in a desired and easy-to-tow market units. Towing a 25-kilo pack of ground meat, for example, will be difficult. Systematic freezing of food in quantity for long-term storage requires special freezing equipment. The following are the proper storage of preserved meat. Hygiene practices in storing meat products. To achieve high standards of sanitation, the following measures should be strictly observed. Number 1, see to it that the physical equipment and layout are conducive to sanitary practices. Number 2, handle, store, and refrigerate food properly to prevent spoilage and contamination. Number 3, safeguard the food during distribution and service. Number 4, wash and sanitize dishes, glasses, utensils, and equipment. Number 5, clean floors, wallings, ceilings, counters, tables, and chairs regularly. Number 6, eliminate vermin and rodents from food areas. Number 7, maintain adequate employer supervision and a constant program of education in sanitation for food service workers. Number 8, make sure that the food service employees are in good health and are not carriers of communicable diseases. The 3 principal groups of communicable diseases that must be guarded against in public feeding operations are respiratory, intestinal, and skin diseases. Require medical examinations for food service employees. And number 9, provide a regular employee education on food service sanitation. Techniques in storing meat. Storage procedure for meat products. Safe storage. Meat is among the most perishable foods. This perishable ability makes it potentially hazardous food. At ambient temperatures, meat spoils so fast. It is therefore necessary to keep it in a chilled storage. Storing. Take time to store the food items. Store new purchases behind old ones, and always use the old stock first. It is easy to put new purchases at the front. However, older stocks are overlooked and thus cause spoilage. This may include cereal and cereal products, sweeteners, oils, seasonings, and unopened cans and jars. Do not use kitchen cabinets above the refrigerator, stove, or oven for food storage. Never use the area under the sink for storing food because openings around water and drain pipes are impossible to seal. Pipes may leak and damage the food. If you reuse glass jars, wash them thoroughly, wipe, and air dry before using. This helps remove any traces of odors that may remain. Techniques in storing meat. Number 1, refrigerator storage. A refrigerator provides cold temperature for storing perishable foods such as dairy products, meat, fish, poultry, eggs, fruits, and vegetables. Protein foods should be stored in the coldest part of the refrigerator. Fruits and vegetables can be stored in less cold sections or in a special compartment such as the crisper. If refrigerated foods are not properly wrapped, they will dry out and lose nutrients and flavor. Food should be well covered with plastic foil or wax paper or should be put in a tightly covered containers. Garlic and sausages are strong flavored foods that should be wrapped tightly in a plastic or foil and stored in an airtight container to prevent the transfer of aromas to other foods. Number 2, freezer storage. For proper freezing and storage, the temperature inside the freezer should be 18 degrees Celsius or lower. Store frozen foods in their original packages. Foods to be frozen should be put in a moisture vapor-proof wrapping. If plastic containers are used, allow about 2 to 5 cm of head space at the top between the food and the lid so that the food can expand when it freezes. Thaw frozen foods in the refrigerator. Do not allow food to thaw at room temperature. At this point, microorganisms will begin to grow. Our sanitary laws and regulations are so designed to safeguard and promote health. Bacteria are all around us, but they are so small that they cannot be seen by the naked eye. There are hundreds of different kinds of bacteria. Some harmless bacteria are useful and necessary, such as those essential in preparing cheese. Other bacteria are essential in agriculture and industry. However, many types of bacteria are dangerous and cause diseases if allowed to multiply and be transmitted to humans. Food contaminated with bacteria can make people sick. Some of the common illnesses are salmonellosis, perfringens poisoning, staphylococcal poisoning, and botulism. Sanitation is the best preventive measure against foodborne diseases. Sanitation means keeping bacteria out of food through personal hygiene and proper handling procedures. It also means keeping the food at proper temperatures so bacteria already present do not have much chance to multiply. Bacteria enter food in two ways. Some are naturally present in the food when you buy it. Others get in because of careless handling when food is prepared and served. Bacteria cannot travel by themselves. They are carried about by people, animals, and insects as well as objects. Salmonella bacteria, for instance, can be found in foods such as raw meat, poultry, eggs, and dairy products. From these foods, the bacteria contaminate other foods in the kitchen. Staphylococcus bacteria are found not only in raw meat, but in food handlers with poor personal hygiene. The bacteria from food handlers can be transmitted to the food through sneezing and coughing. Bacteria thrive on food, moisture, and the right temperature in order to grow. With careless handling, these growing conditions can occur in any kitchen. A time to remember. This is Maylene Huliganga. Thank you for watching.